सरते कल्याणमयी ये गंगे जग की माता तेरे पुण्य पगों में जननी त्रिभुवन के सझुकाता भागीरथ ने जिधर भक्त से अपना शंख बजाया उसी पंथ को पतित पावनी माँ तुमने अपनाया हरिद्वार काशी प्रयाग को तुमने तीर्थ बनाया आज हमारे जीवन परमान दुख का बादल छाया गंगे गंगे तुम ही करो उद्धार तुम ही करो उद्धार गंगे तुम ही करो करो उद्धार गंगे तुम ही करो देख दया की दे दे मैया देख दया की दे दे मैया तेरे हाथ हजार गंगे तुम ही करो तुम ही करो उद्धार गंगे तुम ही करो चरणों को छोड़ा तुमने धरती का दुख ताला ब्रह्मा जी का गजा कमंडल शिव ने भार संभाला
ईशपतीशा जगन्निवासा जगदोधारा नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय शिव 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 नमः शिवाय शिव 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 नमः शिवाय साम्ब सदा शिव सदा शिवाय जगन्निवास जगदोधारा नमः शिवाय नामयकारा नमः शिवाय नामयकारा नमः शिवाय अखिलाण्डकोटि नमः शिवाय अखिलाण्ड
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रजा निज मन मुकुर परिणो रघुवर विमल दशा रोदायक फलिता
पूजहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रजा निज मन मुकुर सुधार परिणो रघुवर विमल यशा जोदायक फलचार पूजहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रजा निज मन मुकुर सुधार परिणो रघुवर विमल यशा जोदायक फलचार पूजहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार
ओम जय 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 हनुमान बाबा जय 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 हनुमान
जय 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 हनुमान जय 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 हनुमान
ओम जय 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 हनुमान जय 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 हनुमान come on chant
जय 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 हनुमान जय 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 हनुमान
अंजनीय 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 हनुमान
अंजनेय 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 हनुमान
अंजनीय 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 हनुमान
अंजनेय 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 हनुमान
जय वीर हनुमान अंजनीय हनुमान
जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान
जय वीर हनुमान अंजनीय हनुमान
जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान
अंजनीय 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 हनुमान
अंजनेय 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 हनुमान
अंजनीय 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 हनुमान
अंजनेय 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 हनुमान
जय वीर हनुमान अंजनीय हनुमान
जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान
जय वीर हनुमान अंजनीय हनुमान
जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान
अंजनीय 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 हनुमान
अंजनेय 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 हनुमान
अंजनीय 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 हनुमान
अंजनेय 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 हनुमान
अंजनीय हनुमान
अंजनेय हनुमान
जय वीर हनुमान
जय वीर हनुमान
जय वीर हनुमान
जय वीर हनुमान
When Hanumanji was returning from Lanka back to Ayodhya, in South Indian Ramayana we're told that they stopped and they met Anjani Maya, the mother of Hanuman. And when the mother of Hanuman heard the very beautiful Leela of Rama's Katha, and she heard about how much her son Hanumanji had done for him, Rama that is, you know what the mother said to her son? Anjaniya, 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 Hanuman.
Anjaneya, 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 Hanuman.
She said, "Oh Hanumanta, you have not done enough. The entire epic of Ramayana has completed. But because of your love for Sri Ramchandra Ji, the mother is saying to the son, you have still yet so much to do. Oh Hanumanta, your work has now begun." Anjaniya, 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 Hanuman.
Anjaneya, 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 Hanuman.
Jai Veera Hanuman, Anjaniya Hanuman.
Jai Veera Hanuman, Anjaneya Hanuman.
Jai Veera Hanuman, Anjaniya Hanuman.
Jai Veera Hanuman, Anjaneya Hanuman.
Anjaniya, Anjaniya, Anjaniya Hanuman.
Anjaneya, 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 Hanuman.
Anjaniya, Anjaniya, Anjaniya Hanuman.
Anjaneya, 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 Hanuman.
Jai Shri Ram. This morning at around 6 o'clock, I shaved. You noticed? And assuming it's now 9 minutes after 9, assuming at 10 past 9, I die. No, I die. I'm declared as medically dead. I fall down, I get a heart attack, or I get an aneurysm, or whatever it is, and I die. Tomorrow morning, at 10 past 9, after I am declared medically dead, come and check. I will still need to shave. So hopefully Keshav and Kabir will come and shave my body, so that I will look presentable when Das brings the body. So Baba looking so nice in the coffin. Why I'm sharing this as a matter of fact is, after we are declared medically dead, the nails on your fingers and toes will continue to grow for some time. After we are declared as medically dead, the hair on our body will continue to grow for a period of time. This is not Pandit Krishen's opinion. It is fact, scientifically proven, that when doctors declare us as medically dead, there's still growth, there's still, for the want of a better word, energy or life forms that continues to manifest within the body. In Sanatan Dharma, our ancients, seers and seekers of the truth of the past, they fully understood this process, meaning that heart doesn't just stop beating and we die. It doesn't happen like that. Death happens as a process. Death happens in stages. Baba, can you explain this? Well, I want you to understand that in this human body, let's talk a little bit of Vedanta, there is something that is called Maya Kosh. So there is something known as Annamaya Kosh. What is, please repeat after me, Annamaya Kosh.
Annamaya Kosh.
Then there is Manamaya Kosh.
Manamaya Kosh.
Then there is Pranamaya Kosh.
Pranamaya Kosh.
Then there is Vijnanamaya Kosh.
Vijnanamaya Kosh.
And then there is Anandamaya Kosh.
Anandamaya Kosh.
These are the different types or the different layers of energy that exist within this body. The first three, Annamaya, what is Anna? Anna Dhanaki Maharani. What is Anna? Anna means? What Anna means? Grain or food. But the Annamaya Kosh doesn't mean food. It means, in this sense, this body, it is a bundle of food. Jenny G just went outside and she gave the baby something to eat or drink, right? And from that stage, from being a toddler, an infant into a toddler, to however old you are today, this body is as a result of the accumulation of that which you would have put into it. And therefore, it is known as Annamaya Kosh, meaning because we fed it, we've allowed it to move from one cell to now 70 trillion cells as an adult. And therefore, one aspect of this being, or one layer of this being, it is called Annamaya Kosh, meaning there's a body. The second layer, it is called, what is the second layer called? Manamaya Kosh. Manamaya means, so if you have a body, then there is a mind. There is a collection of thoughts that we say that those are my thoughts. You see that idea? That wasn't your idea, you know. I thought about that before. My thought. And therefore, the thoughts that we have and we carry with us, it is also called Manamaya Kosh. So there's a body and then there's the Manamaya Kosh. Another aspect of our dimension of our being that is called Manamaya Kosh. The third aspect, then, what is it called? Pranamaya Kosh. Pranamaya Kosh means there's some energy, there is something. And when you go to Pranamaya Kosh, which we'll talk in a little while, there are also 5 different types of Pranamaya Kosh. It is energy, heat, water, air, ether, mati, earth, right? Those are the different types of Pranamaya Kosh, simplifying it. Then the 4th type of your being, the 4th layer of your being, it is known as Vijnanamaya Kosh. Vijnanamaya Kosh is very different from the first 3. Because the first 3 we can relate to, we can touch, we can identify with. Even that which is known as your Manamaya. You can identify with your thoughts, you can identify with your body, and you can also identify with, what was the 3rd again? Pranamaya Kosh, the different types of energies in the body. You've touched the body and you can feel it's warm, right? Pranamaya Kosh, one of the energy forms. But when you get to Vijnanamaya Kosh you can't touch. It is a dimension. Both Vijnanamaya Kosh and Anandamaya Kosh are softer or subtler dimensions of your being that you cannot touch. Many of us don't even identify with it. But let me give you a sense of what it is. Have you experienced when you sit in meditation, or when you get so much intoxicated in chanting Bhaja Govindam Om Namah Shivaya, and you get so much lost when all the hair on your body stands on end, and you experience something that you can't, if you try to describe it to someone else, it will not do justice in explaining it. That little taste, it is called Anandamaya Kosh. Because as a human being, you experience, you taste, even if it is for a little bit, you taste that Anandamaya Kosh, and then you come back into your normal experience. Well, I'm giving you that example to go back to telling you that we don't die ek chanse. We die in stages. And that is why when the heart stops beating and the doctors use whatever criteria that is required to declare us medically dead, we are not fully gone. I don't want to use we are not fully dead, but we are not fully gone. Because once you understand that this being that we call me or I, who I am, it is not just physical. When they say you're medically dead, that is only, what is it called? Annamaya Kosh. There is secondly Manamaya Kosh, and then there is somewhat of Pranamaya Kosh that goes. Not all of it goes one time. And therefore this morning I want to help you understand that the rituals that we perform as part of the Shraddha or the death ceremony is for a reason. So let me tell you about the different types of Pranamaya Kosh. The first, it is called Saman. What is it called? So when somebody dies, Bandana, what is the first thing that happens? They go and okay, let's say the heart stops beating. What do they do? They go and they touch the body to see if it is warm still or it's cool. What? No, don't check if you're breathing. Done, establish, gone. What is the first type of Pranamaya Kosh that goes? It is the element of fire. When heat leaves the body, we say the first of the Pranamaya Kosh goes. You start dying. The second, it is Pranamaya Kosh. One of the Pran, it is Pran. It is a subset of it. So it takes between 21 to 24 minutes after being declared medically dead for the first, which is Saman, to leave. The second, which is known as Pran, it takes between 48 to 64 minutes before that energy leaves the body. The third, it is Udhan. It takes between 6 and 12 hours to leave the body. The fourth, it is known as Apan. Apan takes between 8 and 18 hours to leave the body. And the fifth and final, which is known as Vyan, it takes between 11 and 14 days to leave. And I want you to ask this question logically. Don't take what I'm saying as gospel. Think about what I'm saying. Well, Paniji, long time, when people died, they didn't wait, They used to, our Muslim brothers and sisters do it today. The minute Ustad Jamir, he died on Friday, sometime Friday. And by Saturday, Rav, bhai, or Muslim brothers and sisters, it's their tradition that the soonest, even if it's not the same day itself, by next day latest, dispose of the body. That is a very rich tradition that started. Does not belong to Muslims. It came from that part of the East where we also came from, meaning those who practice Sanatana Dharma. Because you were encouraged to dispose of the body soonest. So you'd ask Panditji, so if they dispose of the body within 1 day or 24 hours or 48 hours, then what is this thing about 11 and 14 days before Vyan, that type of energy is sent away? Because we think about death only as physical. When someone dies, the old people would tell you, and they're not so old as well, would tell you, go home and put a light. Put a light in the house. The lighting of that, the establishing of that light, it is so that there is an anchor point for that energy. You know, we use the word soul very loosely today. Soul is an English word. But if you go back to the root of this energy, it is not a one word, not even the word Atma. Atma is a word that helps us to understand that there is something that we are a localized part of when it comes to a bigger something. But when it comes to death, there is no Atma. There is no single entity that is called Atma. What happens after death, it is that the 5 energies go back to their respective regions. And they don't all go back immediately. So even if we dispose of the body after 1 day or 48 hours, it takes up to 11 to 14 days before the Vyan energy leaves this plane of attachment. Understand that very well. It is not Ek Chanse and Atma goes. It is not when you perform the Gita part that the soul leaves. No. Soul doesn't leave at Gita part. The energy leaves in phases. But the Vyan part of your Prana Maya Kosh, the Vyan aspect of your energy, it leaves, it departs, it detaches from attachment. It detaches from this world of attachment between 11 and 14 days. And that is why the shaving ceremony is typically how long after the funeral? 10 days, Dasgat. And then the Gita part and the Shraddh Karm Sanskar, it is some say 12 days, some say 13 days, some say 14 days. And you must understand where these things come from. People ask, Panditji, do I have to do this? No, you don't have to do anything. Because when we die, what needs to happen will happen on its own time. But when we perform these sanskars, we ensure that there is a relinquishment of the attachment between that energy and that which once existed as Pandit Krishen Ramdeen on this earth. And even in that dimension of departure, there are different ceremonies that must apply. So let's say someone dies in an accident. I had a very good friend of mine, a co-worker of mine, and his son died in an accident, tragic accident. He and his friends went out one evening, and on their way back, a car jumped the median, flipped over, and dropped on their car. These young men, or young men and women, in their late teens, early 20s, enjoying the vibrancy, the jubilance of life, and then it is snuffed away. When death comes like that, that energy doesn't leave in 11 to 14 days. You would hear when death comes like a thief in the night and snuffs youth away from someone who is very active and vibrant, they would tell you that between 48 and 90 days it takes for that energy, because that life, that energy is so attached to this world, whether it's as a boyfriend, as a girlfriend, as a brother, as a sister, as a worker, as a musician, as a sportsman, as a dancer, whatever it is, there is so much energy and attachment that even after 11 to 14 days, when life goes like that, it takes between 48 to 90 days to help that energy to detach. And that is why the ceremonies that we call the Anteshti Karm Sanskar are so very important. So whether you call it Anteshti Karm Sanskar, or whether you call it, what does the Muslims call it? They call 40 days. There's a 40 days prayers. And in Christianity, all these ceremonies are intended, they don't call it Anteshti Karm Sanskar, but it is to help two forms. The energy that has detached from this physical body to detach and slowly go back and from this physical world of existence. And the second reason that we do these Antyeshtikram Sanskar, Balramji asked about 7 years ago, he said, well, Panditji, if we finish the Shraddh and we finish the 10 days and we finish the 12 and 13 days, why we have to take out food in 6 months? Why we have to do 1 year prayers? Why we just do annual puja? Why we just take out food and do puja in Pitri Paksh? Why are we doing all of that? Because we don't do what we have to do, right? Remember you asked that question? Yes. The second reason why we do these ceremonies, it is not only to help that energy that has departed, that has detached, it is to help ourselves. That's the second reason. And we must never forget that when we make an offering to our deceased, our ancestors, our lineage, it is establishing that level of gratitude within you to say thank you. There are people who you never know. Are, Shivan, do you know that your great grandnanny nose is on your face today? You didn't know her, right? But there's genetically the combinations of some nose that existed maybe 5 generations before you came on the nose, on the face of Shivan. And therefore I'm giving you an example tangibly as a physical attribute. But there are so many things about you that you have benefited from based on people who came before you that you never knew. And therefore, the offerings that we make in terms of Shraddh, whether it's the 6 months, 1 year, or during the period of Pitri Paksh, it is an opportunity for us to say thank you for all that you have given to us, that we are enjoying as human beings. Because one day, you are hoping that when you die, somebody will help your energies to start separating. You don't know how you will die, you know. You don't know. Some of us think we do know. But the best way to live life is to not know. The best way to live life, it is to not know when death will knock on our doors, because it helps us to live life better. When we think we know, you know, one of the things I did when I went to India, Nadi readings, I've spoken about this before. The Nadi readings say, well, you will die at such and such age. These are the people who will be around you. This is how you will die. Down to the precise nakshatra, meaning minute and second, it tells you when you're going to die. And that is one of the most dangerous, stupid things I've ever done in my life. Because it can lead to ignorance. It can lead to think, well, you know, I'm not going to die. No, let me go and put myself at risk and do silly things. Or nobody can do me nothing. I can do what I want. That is Ravanic-like thinking. And therefore, not knowing when you're going to die, it is a good thing. We must wake up every morning and say, I have life. Thank you, God. You have given me another day. And when you go to sleep in the night, thank God, because the closest thing to death that you will ever experience, it is called deep sleep. The closest thing to death that you will ever experience, it is called deep sleep. Not light sleep, deep sleep. When you don't even know, they could break down the house around you and you wouldn't even know. That is the closest experience to death that I hope that all of you experience every night, which is deep, comfortable sleep that the body gets to rejuvenate itself. And therefore, when you go to sleep at night, you're never assured that you will wake up. And that's the beauty of the sensitivity. Mau ka hai ye jeevan ka gulzar chaman karale. That this life is like a drop of water hanging from the tip of a leaf. You never know when that water will kiss the leaf goodbye. And when it does, chances are they will never get an opportunity to meet again. So this morning, my very simple pravachan to you, it is to understand that that ceremony or that something, that phenomenon that is called death, it is not ek chansi. It is not boom and you're gone. It is even after we are medically declared as dead, the 5 layers of energy, the type 5 pranas, they happen. They depart from that localized attachment in stages, even after the body is disposed of. I want to bring to your attention one other little simple practice. When someone dies and the undertakers come to take the body, one of the things that they will do, they will take their hands. So let me say the person dead like this, right? Like a star boy. They will take the hands and put it together, right? And what else do they do? They take both feet, put it together, and what they do? Sometimes they take the 2 toes and they tie the toes together. One day I was asking children, why would they do this? They say, so the dead man will get up and run away. Tie foot. No, that's not why. When they tie the toes together, tying of the toes together brings the feet in the closed position, and there is a chakra that is known as the Mooladhara chakra, meaning just by your bottom. It is called the Mooladhara chakra, the base of your spine. And when you pull the toes together and you close them in, you are literally tightening that chakra. Because if the first Saman, heat goes, the second Pran goes, between the time that Pran goes and Udhan goes, life could come back into the body. And one of the traditions that is encouraged even today, it is to close the Mooladhara chakra, because that energy, because it's so attached to being in this body, it may attempt to come back in. And there are instances in the past where life has come back into the body, and if it comes back just at the point beyond Udhan, the person is in a worse state. They are better off dead than coming back to life. Because when Udhan, when that prana leaves the body, it starts deteriorating. And even after the energy comes back and life comes, the quality of life is not where it should be. You know, there are tantric means by which they can bring life back into the body. The ancient seers of the past, they know this, but it is not prescribed. Only in certain circumstances these things are done. So I want to conclude here this morning to remind you of a word. If you remember nothing this morning, Gomati, remember this word. It is called Runanu. Everyone, please repeat after me. Runanu Band. Runanu Band. Say it again. Runanu Band. Runanu Band means breaking the bond of attachment. And that is what is encouraged. And somebody asked me, Panishi, does it mean that I should not be emotionally attached? No, of course. The people that we love and who we lose in our life, you must enjoy the moments. You must remember them. You will be emotionally attached to all the experiences you had with them. It is not to forget. Runanuban means having established that that physical person is no longer with me, I must break that attachment, but I can keep the others. And Runanuban, part of the ceremony, do you know why it is given when you go by the to do the shaving? What the Baba name who does do the shaving? Mahapat. We say Mahapatar, right? It's Mahapat. Mahapat means that individual who acts on behalf of that soul that you're sending off. Have you ever seen them giving them? They want mattress, you want umbrella, what again you want? Clothes, you want slippers, you want light. Huh? You know what the tradition was? It wasn't to go and buy a new one, you know. The tradition was those things that once belonged to the person who was alive, you take it and you distribute it and you get rid of it. Today it is not a practiced ritual, but in the days of old, that practice was to take the undergarments, to take the clothes, to take the jewelry. And that is why they would start giving it to the children and the grandchildren and great-grand, and you start giving it out so that that energy, there is no localized place for it to come back into attachment. Even after the physical body is burnt, guess what you do with the ashes? Throw it in the sea. And don't offer it one spot, you know. They say, go and scatter it. Don't give them a chance to come back, even if they want to come back. It sounds comical, but it is called Runanuband. Runanuband means don't encourage that energy, any of these 5 layers of energy, to be desirous, to want to come back. Set it free. Set the energy free. Let it go. It has gone back into oneness. Shivoham, Shivoham. So when you understand the rituals that we do from that perspective, you do it a lot more meaningfully, and you understand it's no semi-demi. It is a science of ensuring that energy and attachment is dealt.
Duryodhani ko meva kya go, Duryodhani ko meva kya go, saga vidur jar paye, sabse unchi.
Come on, let's chant together.
सबसे ऊंची
प्रेम सदाई
सबसे ऊंची
प्रेम सदाई
वो सबसे ऊंची
प्रेम सदाई
सबसे ऊंची
प्रेम सदाई
दुर्योधन को मेवा त्यागो
दुर्योधन को मेवा त्यागो
दुर्योधन को मेवा त्यागो
दुर्योधन को मेवा त्यागो
साग विदुरी जर पाए
सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सदाई सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सदाई
ओ
सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सदाई सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सदाई
झूठे फल शबरी के खाए
जूते फल शबरी के खाए
झूठे फल शबरी के खाए
जूते फल शबरी के खाए
बहुबिरी प्रेम लगाई
सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सदाई सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सदाई
प्रेम की
प्रेम सदाई
सबसे
ऊंची प्रेम सदाई
प्रेम की बस अर्जुन रखवा क्यों
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 भूल गई ठकुराई
सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सदाई सबसे ऊंची प्रेम
वो
सदाई
सबसे ऊंची
प्रेम सदाई
सबसे ऊंची
प्रेम सदाई
वो सबसे
ऊंची प्रेम सदाई सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सदाई
वो सबसे
ऊंची प्रेम सदाई सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सदाई
प्रेम से बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय।